Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Glad to be here.
And we've got three guests joining us today. We've got one guest joining us in studio. We've got Casey Baker, and joining us remotely from the state of South Carolina, we've got Rhonda and Brandon Fields. How's everybody doing?
Hey, doing great.
Great. Good.
Good to have you all today. Now, Casey, are you a police officer?
Oh, no.
Casey, are you a firefighter?
Really no.
Oh, yeah, a double no on that one. Now, Casey, we know each other because you used to work in our fleet services division for the agency I worked for.
Yes, sir.
And you're a mechanic. You're our go-to guy that could fix anything.
Yes, sir.
Very, very good. And we appreciate all the work that you did because you worked on all city vehicles.
Yes, sir.
But you definitely worked on squad cars as well as those fire truck things where everybody has to ride around together because they can't drive a car by themselves, right?
Of course. Exactly.
Oh, the miles of Velcro this man has seen.
Exactly.
See? Always had Velcro in those cars, man, somewhere.
Of course.
Well, and I have to ask, in fire trucks, do they have game controllers, like video games?
I haven't seen one, but I'm not going to say there's not one out there.
All right. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they had that installed by now.
You never can tell what a hose dragger is going to carry around.
Wow.
Yeah. Woo. Straight.
I'm glad he dropped it and we didn't.
Yeah. We don't have to say anything.
No, we don't. We can just laugh.
All right. Now,
Very nice.
Rhonda and Brandon, let's start with you, Rhonda. You're a retired officer, correct?
Yes.
And what agency did you work for?
We both worked for Prince William County Police in Virginia.
And how many years did you guys both do?
I did 18,
I did 16.
and we took
Okay.
medical retirements. We're both very, very broken.
Aren't we all? So, Rhonda, you both worked for, you said Prince William County?
Yes.
Where is that at?
30 miles south of Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so out in the country, right?
No, it's actually a relatively large agency. I think their sworn is somewhere around 800, and I think altogether it's maybe 14 or 1,500. It's the second largest police agency in Virginia.
Wow. And Lord knows there's a lot of different agencies, law enforcement agencies in Virginia, right?
Oh, there is.
So you guys retired and then moved to South Carolina?
Yep. We finally got our dream property.
Excellent. And your dream property, I know in just talking to you, you guys like large animals, like horses, right?
Well, I like large animals. I have two, and he just kind of has to like them by proxy.
Well, I would say you have three. You have a husband, so that's three large animals.
It's like running a daycare. It really is.
But, let's talk about Brandon for a minute, Rhonda.
Okay, let's peel this onion.
Yeah, onions have layers.
They do have layers.
We're about to start peeling them off.
Better than parfait. Go ahead.
Well, the way Rhonda and I met, and then eventually Brandon and I met many years ago. I still belong to this group. There's a Facebook group of law enforcement officers that we're all friends because we all go to Police Week together every year. And I meet those guys up there. Some of them are from West Virginia. I mean, they're from all over. But anyways, someone one day sent out a message that he had a officer friend of his who needed to come to Dallas. She was headed to Dallas because her husband was down here and he'd been involved in an accident.
Oh, okay, I'm following.
So they asked, "Do we have any Texas friends that could help out?" Like, well, sure, I'll do anything to get out of work today.
There you go.
So
Very heartfelt.
yeah. So I had Rhonda's contact information. It was sent to me, and I reached out, and I said, "What do you need?" And she was looking for someone just to come meet her at DFW and just get her out of that mess. The mess that's DFW.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
I'll be there I'll be there tomorrow. So I went to my lieutenant over investigations and I said, "Hey, this is what's going on. We've got an officer. I said, she's an officer. Her husband's an officer, and he's injured, and she's flying down, needs help. And he said, yeah, whatever you need, Steve. So jumped in one of our trucks, one of our investigations trucks, and drove to DFW. And then I picked this lady up who was standing on the curb, and it happened to be
the right one.
It was the right one.
Okay.
Well, the second one I picked up was the right one.
Okay, there you go.
But I returned the first one to where I found her. Well, kind of close to it. So anyways, Rhonda gets in the truck, and I asked her, okay, where's your husband at? He's in the hospital in Rowlett.
Oh, that's a pretty good run.
I was like, well, yeah. I said, well, what happened? Well, he was at horse ferrying school. You know what horse ferrying is?
Put shoes on them, right? Or
Yeah.
Take care of the hooves.
Yeah, put little Nikes on them and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Wouldn't that be ponies?
ponies. Pumas.
Oh wow!
Sorry.
So
You just aged yourself with that.
Well, if they were a donkey, they'd be Adidas's. So. Sorry. Back where you were, Steve. I apologize.
okay, focus.
So he was in farrier school.
He was in farrier school. I didn't know what that was whenever I found that out. I had a little Google search. Oh, horseshoeing. Okay. So he come to Texas to go to ferrying school, and shoot a horse, and the horse shoed back.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. So I was able to take Rhonda over to Rowlett, and when we got there, I went inside the hospital with her, made sure that she actually found her husband. And, she walked in, and here's this guy. First time I ever met Brendan. Here's this guy. He's laying in bed looking like he got kicked in the head by a horse.
Are you sure? Oh, well, hold on. The hoof was in a very precarious place when he kicked back.
He caught this one in the head. Like,
Oh, the real. Okay.
yeah, the
I'm just
top,
making sure.
the top of the torso head.
So
Yes.
do you walk funny still, or are you okay?
So anyways, it was great that I was able to get her there, and then it was kind of cool. And Brendan looked over, and he just said Texas, and smiled and nodded his head. I'm like, oh yeah, we take care of people
There you
around
go.
here.
There you go.
So just so y'all know, I represented Texas that day.
Oh man, we're so proud of you.
I thought you were going to say you were screwed.
No, I thought you were saying he was like Texas, like is that where I'm at? So I didn't know if you remembered.
See, that's pretty good for a concussion rating.
Yes,
Score?
It's like it's a big state. You get a pretty good chance of getting it right.
Yeah, that's true. So, Rhonda, as I understand it, your trip from hell really didn't end there. That kind of started it, right?
Well, it started with the phone call that when anybody answers the phone and the person immediately says, I'm okay, that means you are absolutely not okay.
Not.
Yeah.
And he was making no sense at all. Someone took the phone from him and they just said, well, we're on the way to the hospital. He has a bit of a head injury. And then he FaceTimed me from the emergency room. And I sent you the picture, Steve. He's got blood all over his face. The stitches look like Frankenstein. Whoever did them shouldn't even be a veterinarian, never mind a doctor. They were terrible. And he's giggling because they have him hopped up on pain meds, and he holds up his hand and says, I think you're going to have to wipe my ass because I hurt my hand too. You're going to be fine.
Well
If you're in
played,
the
sir.
emergency room, yeah, if you're in the emergency room and you're cracking jokes that you're expecting me to wipe your ass, you're going to be just fine. So I made a reservation for a flight. You came through, and I just remember when I saw you in that vehicle, I thought, this is where I'm going to cry because I have 2 hours sleep in me. I don't know where this hospital is. I don't know how bad off he is. You were just fantastic. And then I get to the hospital and had not considered the fact that his clothes were probably covered in blood and disgusting, and didn't bring him any clothes. So we left the hospital in a gown, cowboy boots, and a pair of red underwear.
Yeehaw.
Oh, it was Christmas then. Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then he had to go to the bathroom, so he went out in public to use a public restroom dressed exactly like that.
Okay, where was this
Head of
public
med-
restroom at?
CVS, I think it was.
I think it was a
pharmacy.
grocery store by a pharmacy, but yeah, head injury, still bloody, crusty, hands are tore up, in a hospital gown, cowboy boots, and his underwear. And he's trying to hold the back of it closed, but he is all drugged up. And I wouldn't even go in with him. I'm just Godspeed. Go for it. Let's see how this plays out.
Wow.
He came
Just
out
walking.
okay. They let him out. They didn't call the police.
Yeah. Just walking in the store. Excuse me. You have a restroom? Like, oh, hell no.
Do they start
Pretty
you off with
much.
Do they
Pretty
start you
much.
off with like Shetland ponies and you work into big ones, or do they just go straight under the big one?
No, actually, I had been. I actually spent a lot of time. I was really interested in starting my own business, and I had looking forward to doing that because after I got out of law enforcement, I figured that we had horses. At that time, I was able to horseback ride. Now, it's long story short, the school was actually legit, but the place that they took me to was, I guess you could say, a kill pen.
Okay.
So basically, they handed you a rope and said, "Here, go catch a horse," and they were as wild as you could possibly get. So it took me a good hour to catch a horse, and let alone the horse that I did catch had a thing for dogs, and I didn't know that. So I was on cloud nine because here I had just shoed my first horse, and here I am, the star pupil, and the instructor's using my horse to demonstrate how this can be done right. And then here comes a dog, and a truck pulled in, and after that, I really don't remember much.
They told me that she went up, he went down, and the first shoe he ever put on a horse went straight onto his forehead.
Oh, yeah, no.
Stamp approval.
Yes, pretty much. It literally did stamp. There was a horseshoe print on his forehead.
And I had just come off a horse in Virginia prior to that, and I had broken 2 ribs.
Oh, my
So
land.
that kind of, that opened that wound. So I came down the same side. So I had fractured ribs that were basically broken again. So, yeah.
So
He's
she just
fine.
keep-
He's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
does she just keep horses at the house just to taunt you? I mean,
Well, both of the horses are hers. And the only thing I do right now is feed them. And occasionally I will clean their feet. That's about it. And fly spray. That's about all I'll do.
oh, yeah.
That's
No,
smart. That's smart.
I've got no business around the horses. I'd get hurt.
Hmm.
Well, Casey,
Yes, sir.
so how long were you working on vehicles there at the Fleet Services?
At the city for about 15 years, about 35 years total, but about 15 there at the city.
And I can only imagine in that time, I think of what officers do to vehicles.
Sure.
I know they treat them all like their own, and they baby the cars, and they never do anything bad to a police vehicle.
Exactly.
But in the rare occasion that someone might not have taken care of a car, what kind of stuff have you seen?
Well, not long after I started the city, I found I kept noticing on these Crown Vics, all the back seats were loose, and I thought, why do they always take the back seats out? And then it dawned, and then somebody told me, well, you take them out to look for stuff, right?
Sure.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to help out, and I'm going to look. So I take out the back seat, the cushion, the bottom cushion, and there's a crack pipe in there, and I thought, they're going to be so proud of me. I found a crack pipe. they're going to give me a pat on the back here, boys.
They're going to cuss you.
Yes. And so I tell my boss, I say, look what I've got. I mean, I'm holding it in a red rag like every person should, right? And so we called, and Lieutenant shows up, and he has an evidence bag, and I thought, oh my goodness, we're doing something great here. And so he puts it in a little paper bag, and he puts it on the ground and commences to stomping on it. And he said, okay, will you throw this away for me? I said, I got you, boss. So then I just didn't worry about the seats that were loose. And so went on from there about that.
Quit looking underneath those seats.
Exactly. I didn't even worry about putting them back in. I said, if they want them loose, they can leave them loose. So
Yeah. Where's my seat at? Oh, it's over there against the wall. You can put it in if you need to.
exactly. That's right.
Hey, I got to ask you this. Anything crazy with fire trucks?
Man.
I mean, they ever come in for like work and there's still like a fireman sleeping inside it or
No.
something?
Never found any firemen sleeping. I did. We had there at the city, the fuel island had the diesel pumps, one on each end. So it was like 4 pumps in a row. Okay, the diesel pumps are on each end, and we come in one morning, and the fire truck, they had drug the whole side of the fire truck off with the bollard, and he said it was because I couldn't get to the fire pump on the end that I was used to, so I pulled around the other way and to get to the other pump. And I thought, okay, well, there you go. Just knock the edge off of it. Why don't you?
creatures of habit, I guess.
I guess so.
Damn it, that's my pump. I'm going to use that pump.
Exactly.
Even if I can't fit my vehicle to that pump, I'm still going to.
That's right. I'm
I'll
going to
make
just
room.
keep going until I get there. But
Did you ever find any mustache oil?
no,
I know it's there. I know it is.
you're probably right.
It's there somewhere.
That's quite the popular thing. You got a point there. You got a point there.
Ever have to repaint a fire truck because they washed it so many times?
No, I've not seen that either. I can tell you that. But no, just crazy stuff like that. And we had I talk about finding something in a vehicle. I worked for another city just for a short time, and the officers there would come in and wait for an oil change. And so I know it didn't seem right to me either. But so it was a K9 unit, and the officer gets out, and I just give him the thumbs up. Are we all good inside the car? He says, yeah. And so I changed the oil, and I let the car down off the rack and hop in it to start it up. And Cujo's back there, and the door of the cage is open.
Oh.
And I look over my shoulder, and he's breathing heavy. And by that point, I start breathing heavy. But I just said, excuse me, buddy, let me just get right back out of here. And
Yes.
the officer's like, oh, don't worry about it. He's not going to hurt you. And I said, well, I don't know that.
Oh.
But so whenever I saw him in the future, the thumbs up did not mean thumbs up for him. So I didn't know what he meant by thumbs up, but it wasn't the same thing I meant for thumbs up.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But,
I couldn't imagine a canine sticking its head through that cage door. I mean, you're talking right between the seats.
Oh, yeah. That was the door between the seats, and I was sitting in the seat. It was was that a little Ford Explorer, so, it's a small cabin anyhow. And
Feel some warm air kind of blowing past your ear.
Oh, yeah,
You're
it was-
hey,
it-
It's refreshing.
who's that?
Exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So
Well, police canines are not known for their bedside manner. Maybe I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And typically the dogs are not left in the car either, while you're working on them. That was what was blowing me away. But
Well, that's kind of different.
hey,
Right?
stuff happens,
Planning for the future is challenging, and getting where you want to go in life requires strategies built around your unique financial needs. Alexander Financial Management is here to help you reach your goals. As fiduciaries, Alexander Financial Management will pursue the best solutions for you, no exception. While their decades of experience and service are available to everyone, Alexander Financial especially wants to help first responders and their families. The founder is a former police officer, and the executive team includes a retired fire captain and a retired police officer. Their extensive background in public service gives a deep understanding of the public retirement systems of Texas. So for retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, and estate planning, Alexander Financial Management has your back, so you can look forward. Get more info at alexfm.com. That's alexfm.com. Investment advisory services offered through Transcend LLC, a registered investment advisor. TE3 and Alexander Financial are not affiliated entities. Insurance products and services are not offered through TE3, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
And we're back. Back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Great to be here, guys.
And joining us in studio, we've got Casey Baker.
Thank you for having me.
And joining us remotely from the state of South Carolina, we've got Rhonda and Brandon Fields.
Hey there.
Did you say here?
That said, hey there.
Taking roll call.
Oh, I know. I was thinking roll call. Curtis,
Here.
Casey,
Here.
Rhonda,
Present.
Present.
Brandon.
Here.
Okay, we're all here, guys.
There's always one, right? Rhonda's present. The rest of us are here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Speaking of Rhonda here, you've told me that seems like you worked overtime quite a bit. Anything crazy ever happen working overtime up there in your agency?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what cop doesn't work lots of overtime? We're all gluttons for punishment. And I think everybody has lived to regret it at one point. And I know that I certainly did. I took some overtime on the far west part of our county where there's farms and things. And I caught the emu running in traffic call.
Emu in traffic? Like major highway, county road, what?
Oh no, well, for out there, yeah, probably 3 lanes each direction, kind of main road, not a small area. House is not far away. Traffic.
Is this normal to have an emu spotting in this area?
Apparently it had gotten out once before, or they'd had one out before. I got there and I got excited because I got to say it's GOA, and then joke's on me. Oh, we just had a woman call in and it's in her yard. Well, that's just super. So
it's no longer in traffic. Is that really your problem?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Private property.
And right along with that, I pull up and it's looking at me through my window, and I'm thinking, what do you want me to do with it? What am I supposed to try and put it in the back seat? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I send the dispatcher a selfie with the emu behind me. It's in the yard. And I said, what do you want me to do? Well, you need to get on that. Somebody needs to find out where this thing belongs, because I don't know anything about emus, but this sucker looks at me and he takes up what I can only interpret as the emu fighting stance, and now I'm panicking.
He was not there to lower your insurance, right?
No, but this thing put his feet kind of like in line, and he kind of looked at me and shifted his little neck, and all I can think of is, if I kill this bird, I am never going to live it down. Or if it gets to me and I get the shit beat out of me by it, I'm never going to live it down. There's no way this goes well for me, no matter what.
I could hear the theme song. Rhonda's Emu, South Carolina Mutual.
Every news article where an officer is chased an emu sends that. Someone sends me the link. I get all of the, insurance.
Was it taller than you?
No. But
okay, I've never ever seen one. I've never seen one eye to eye.
No, well, it was eye to eye. It was pretty big.
Okay.
And looking in the window of your cruiser with those big red eyes doesn't give you warm and fuzzies when you see those feet.
No, I can see a picture now. I'm getting a visual.
And when it took up the fighting stance, or what it seemed to me as the fighting stance, I thought, those red areas they talk about when you go through ASP training? I'm going straight for that sucker. What am I going to do?
I still would put my money on the emu.
Yeah.
I don't even know you that well, Rhonda, but I'll put money on the emu.
Exactly. So the whole time I'm like, this is not worth the money. This is not worth the money. Oh my gosh. And then finally dispatch lets me know, the people are on their way. And this minivan pulls up, and these Hispanic guys, like 3 of them, hop out of this minivan, and they make short work of tackling this emu. Like, they just charge this thing like they abduct things every day.
You got to assert dominance, okay?
Yes, you got to show that emu who's boss.
Yeah, if you drive an emu van, you know it.
They pig pile on top of this bird. They grab a hold of it and they carry it to this minivan, throw it in the van with almost no conversation with us at all. They just come abduct it, throw it in a minivan, and they drive away. Like,
are we even certain it was the owners?
That's what I was going to ask.
I didn't care.
Did you lose an emu?
I didn't care. But
Have you seen this emu?
Yes. The pictures surfaced. It made the local news. It was awful. It was awful.
Oh, man.
It was Facebook famous in a bad way. It was bad.
Yeah, thank God it was an emu. I mean, what if you had found a lost child and you're there with the child, the minivan pulls up and 3 guys jump out and take that child?
Then you'd be at Chuck E. Cheese.
It was like they do this professionally. They were real good at it. Let's put it that way.
Maybe it's kind of like the ostrich racing thing where, guy rides on the back. And
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. They were jockeyed.
They're jockeys.
Yeah, they're emu jockeys. That's what they were.
They're pros. Casey, ever found an emu at the city shop or inside a police vehicle?
I can't say as I found an emu anywhere. No, sir. No, sir.
Now, I happen to know of a story we had there at our agency involving flares.
Yeah.
Do you recall that?
Yeah, that's a very enlightening story. So we had,
Boom, boom.
that's right. At one point, we were, our public service officer, I guess, was trying to really make sure the officers had plenty of flares. And so we were packing them, or he was packing them in a drawer in the back command center. And I guess a couple of them got in between the drawers or got broke somehow, and it lit the back of the Tahoe up. And the first one burned to the ground pretty much. The second one, the officer was very astute as to what's going on, and he hopped back there and he put out the fire.
Good for him. Saved the vehicle.
He saved the vehicle. I was proud because we were low on vehicles at the time. And then the fire department showed up and they thought, well, we need to help. So they opened the back door of the Tahoe and they sprayed water all the way to the windshield. And so it was out for sure then, but so was the rest of the vehicle at that point too. So, but
I'm hearing chariots of fire in my head right now. And the mustache oil everywhere.
Is that flammable?
It is.
maybe the mustache oil made their hands slippery, so the hose got away from them. I'm not sure what's going on in that deal, but no, it was a bad deal. Lost 2 vehicles right back to back. So at that point, we quit carrying as many flares.
And for so many years, you had flares in the back and never had a problem with it.
Yeah, that's what we didn't understand was here they are in aluminum drawers, and then before you just carried them in the cardboard box that they came in. And never had a problem. Then all of a sudden you get 2 of them lit up. So we asked that they be taken out at that point. So
expensive flares when you're burning up cars with them.
hey,
Wasn't there something about the car 13 you said that was always an issue? If it had number 13 on it, something was going to go wrong with
yeah,
it?
we had a unit 32013 and it always got crashed. I'm not sure why. from the point that it was a Crown
This is why
Vic.
there's not a number 13 in elevators. You just don't do it. It's bad luck, right?
That's probably the point. Yeah. No, the 13 Crown Vic was crashed. The 13 Caprice was crashed. The 13 Tahoes were all crashed. So at some point, I just quit trying to fix them.
There you go.
Yeah, just skip over that number. We can have a 12, have 14.
That's right. That's
Screw-
right.
Screw 13. Or just give 13 to the rookie. Here you go. You drive.
Yeah.
That's true. Just make it the ghost car.
Very good. Just go park it in a parking lot unattended and just leave it there
Yep. Hope it's
During
still
Halloween.
with no flares in the back.
No.
there. No flares. That was good stuff back then.
So, Brandon, you actually worked for a sheriff's office before you went to work at Prince William, right?
I did. So about 2005, I got out of the Marine Corps, and like anybody, I needed a job, wanted law enforcement, and threw out a bunch of applications. And the first place that hired me was a smaller jurisdiction outside of the jurisdiction I eventually went to, Fauquier County Sheriff's Office. It was about a
Wait, what was that?
Fauquier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fauquier.
This is a family show, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I needed to be.
It took me a long time to learn how to spell that one. Thank God they put that right at the bottom of the criminal complaints.
Oh, that's
But,
great.
Okay, sir, go ahead. I apologize.
But yeah, I had to basically law enforcement at that time was a little different than it is now. So took the job there, had to sign a contract for 3 years. And they hired me right off the spot. And I was going to start the academy within 3 months. And they gave me the opportunity to start earlier. And they would allow me to work in the jail until the police academy picked up. So I jumped on board needing a job right out of the Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So it's
So, at your, God, I'm trying to get to this. As an adult, because we don't need confession again. As an adult, have you ever run from law enforcement, there, Brady?
Yes. So, being a Marine, I'm a little bit of a prankster. It gets me in more trouble than anything, even as an adult. I mean, I prankster, let's put it at that. Shift I worked on was really good. I worked with 2 other Marines, and they were with welcoming arms when I came there employed. Working midnight, it would get slow. And, if nobody was coming in and being booked or anything like that, you would find yourself during those idle times getting in trouble. So me and a sergeant that I had got a lieutenant, the shift lieutenant involved, and we had basically come up, we were going to call it a training scenario. So one of the other deputies' girlfriends was doing a food run. Was going to run out to a local store, pick up a bunch of food and drop it to us because it was, close to midnight. We didn't get off till 7, and she was going to drop up all this food. So in thinking, we decided that I was going to basically dress up like an inmate. I was going to go around to the back side of the building. They were going to open the doors for me. They could see me in the cameras. I was going to put on the striped jumpsuit. And when she showed up, he was going to be the hero. I was going to try to run out through the sally port, and he was going to challenge me. I won't talk about how he was going to challenge me because it's stupid now that I look on it now. Well, not thought of.
How could this possibly go wrong?
Oh no!
Yeah, firearm, somebody in a jumpsuit. God forbid a road deputy went by and saw this going on.
That would suck.
Not knowing that it was a prank. But he was going to be the hero in front of his girlfriend. He was basically going to be able to subdue me, throw me on the ground, put cuffs on me, and it was going to be fun. Well, everything was going great. They're watching me in the camera. She pulls up. She's out front of the sally port where usually, they come in to drop off prisoners, and she's out there and they're intermingling. They're doing the kissing on the cheeks. How are you doing, baby? And about that time, she sees me just like we wanted. And she's like, I think there's somebody over there. So about that time I take off running and he challenges me. Well, there's only one out, either through the sally port entry where the vehicle is, or, that's it. So we get into a full out fight. I mean, it was legit. I'm going for his firearm. We're on the ground, rolling around. He's challenging me and she's screaming. So she had set all this food on top of the, top of her vehicle. She had bags of food and drinks and stuff like that. She jumps in her car as we're fighting, and I had separated myself from him, and she tried to run me over.
Oh, damn.
So she pinned me between the wall.
Yeah, that didn't end well, did it?
The Sallyport gate, trying to run me over before he had to intervene to tell her to stop, that it was just a prank. Once she was able to realize it was a prank, she put the car in reverse and she just left.
Hey, did you guys get your food?
No, it was all over the parking lot.
Or are they still together? That was my question.
They were. Years later, I ended up seeing him at a conference, and she got to meet him, or a concert years later, and she was able to meet him, and that was the first thing we talked about.
Oh, my lands.
But,
well, thanks for ruining it for the rest of us. Now, none of us can do that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what could possibly go wrong?
No, yeah.
Well, it also makes you wonder, they had a lieutenant involved in this. Tell me you work for a small rural sheriff's office where anything goes when you get a lieutenant involved in that.
Well, we convinced him because we tried to go on the coin of it was training exercise,
Yes.
prison escape training.
Well, that's a good investment there, because you get higher ranking officer in there, supervisor. Yes, he's giving you the thumbs up. You're good to go. And then that way, when you get pinned against the wall with a car and you have to file for workers' comp, it was on duty.
I was so lucky I didn't get hurt on that one.
Yeah.
The
But
commitment she had to put him against the wall with the car, though, you got to look at that side of it.
And we need citizens like that nowadays.
I got no comment on that. But now, Rhonda, you guys worked together at the same agency, and you guys knew a lot of the same officers, and you've had people actually call you about Brandon on calls before, right?
Oh yeah. He's a mess. Well, we work day shift together, so I could hear him on the radio most of the time. And when we get home at night, I'd be like, I need radio silence. You've been in my car all damn day. Shut up. Like, if I hear traffic stop out of you one more time, I'm going to run you over myself. But
He's used to that.
Yeah, he's used to it. So
yeah, I mean, he should be good at it. I worked with this guy, big buff guy, prior Marine, pick up heavy things, put them down. And you can't see Brandon, but he's 6'1"? And we were on the department with his gear. He maybe weighed like 160 pounds. And he was great at foot pursuits. He used to chase people all the time. And when he was on motors, it didn't matter. He'd dump the motorcycle, he'd take off. And there was a foot pursuit. And I can hear it on the radio. I can hear him doing his thing. And this other officer calls me. He goes, "Hey, I'm really sorry about Brandon." I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm thinking, he's fine. I've heard them on the radio. The guy's in custody. What's the deal? And he goes, "He doesn't weigh what I thought he weighed." What are you talking about? So he says, the guy that we were chasing was on the other side of a chain link fence. It was tall. We had him proned out, and Brandon came running up, and he's the lightest of everybody and probably easier to get over the fence. So I was going to give him a boost, and he weighs a lot less than I thought. And he says he cleared that fence like a jumper, and he hit the ground so hard he left a dent in the ground with his helmet. And did the guy ask you?
Yeah, so it was actually it was a carjacking. So here I am halfway up this 12-foot chain link fence stuck at the top, and he comes up behind me and says, "Let me help you." He throws me clear over the fence, and I land on my back. And right on the other side of the fence, here the criminal is, looks at me and says, "Oh man, that hurt. Are you okay?"
It is pretty good when the perper just laying there, go, "Man, are you okay, bro?"
What'd you say to the guy?
Oh, no. Not afraid for me. There's some choice words that I had towards him.
Oh, I bet.
So,
And as soon as I could catch my breath, I was challenging him.
so 12-foot tall chain link fence,
Yep.
and you're up near the top, and this other guy's just coming up behind you. He's like, "Let me help you," and just gives you a push and launches
I
you.
mean, I had the helmet on, the motor helmet. I still have my motorcycle helmet on, the motor boots up to the knees, and he comes up behind me. You can't get those boots in the little chain link fence. So I was using all upper body to scale this fence, and he got me over it.
He's a good partner. Good partner.
Good partner, throwing a motor officer over a fence.
He was head over heels.
If I was a nice wife, I probably wouldn't have thought it was funny, but I thought it was hilarious.
Let's welcome Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the studio. Now, Daniel, the holidays are coming up. What is your advice for people that might be decorating their homes?
Steve, I tell you, every year we meet some clients, and usually it's in January or February, and it's usually because they all of a sudden had a leak or something's hanging off of their roof or something in that magnitude. And so when we start doing some investigation, we always find out there's staples or nails. They previously had got some kind of hooks that they tried to put in around their home or through their roof for some reason, or, some strange things. And so these cause damage to your home. So when you're hanging decorations, hanging lights, trying to make your home festive for the holidays, we got Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all within the next, 75 days. And so a lot of clients will try to, have fun with it, which is always fun, but you got to protect your property. You can't put huge nails in your fascia, your soffit. That's the wood that goes around your home. You don't want to nail through the shingles on top of your roof and try to put hooks up there to hang, Santa Claus off the top of the roof. These are things that just will damage your home, and you got to find alternative ways of decorating that's not going to put long-term damage and more cost into your home.
Yeah, that could really make for some expensive decorations.
Steve, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that we've seen over the years. And I'm talking very, very unique ways of trying to decorate your home. And I'm like, that probably looked really nice, but unfortunately now you have holes in your roof. And so now we're going to have to fix this.
Oh, not a good situation. If you are in need of a new roof repair, remodeling, or restoration, give Daniel a call at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. The number is 833-COOK-DFW. Again, that's 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Be sure to ask them about their free first responder upgrade. And we're back to more Offbeat the light side of law enforcement. We got 3 guests joining us today. In studio, we've got Casey Baker.
Thank you.
And joining us remotely from the state of South Carolina, we have Rhonda and Brandon Fields.
Hey.
Hey.
Now, this segment is sponsored by our friends at Alexander Financial Management. If you have questions about retirement planning, investment strategies, life insurance, or estate planning, check out Alexander Financial Management at alexfm.com. Now, Rhonda, you talked about horses earlier, and then, of course, you also talked about an emu. And you're obviously an animal lover. It sounds like.
Yep.
Have
Sometimes.
you ever? Sometimes. Okay. Have you ever had the opportunity to save an animal's life at work?
I've tried.
Well, let's hear it.
Again, that whole overtime thing you get sucked into. So unlike you guys, where the world is your bathroom, women are not quite so lucky. So I'm working a detail, and there was this school that had a really nice handicap bathroom size. So it was really big. You know how porta-johns are really tiny usually? No, this was nice. You could
A nice porta-john?
Yeah, you could get a whole wheelchair in there, and it was at a small elementary school, so it was always clean. It was like my little, if you needed to and you weren't closed, that was where to go. So I pull in, nobody around. It's not dark out, but it's the evening. I go in this porta-john. Again, it's handicap size, so it's big enough. And I don't like to take my duty gear off, so I drop my pants with my duty gear on them. And this place is clean. Like, it looks like it was dropped off yesterday. I sit down on this toilet, and there's suddenly noise and what seems to be movement underneath my butt.
Oh, God.
So I panic hard. Yeah. And I try to jump off this porta potty, grab my gear. My pants are at my knees, and the weight's pulling my pants down. So it's kind of a leap, crash, fall across this porta-john. And I don't know what's in there. So I'm like, do I take aim at this thing? Should I go for my gun? Should I run out the door? I don't know what the hell to do. So I'm half pants up, and I look, and there's splashing in the porta potty. There's a damn bird swimming in the porta potty.
Swimming in crap.
So now I feel bad. So I tried to save it. I put rubber gloves on, and I picked it up and tried to save it.
So, okay. So you've got to.
Thank God it wasn't an emu.
Oh. So you've got a bird swimming inside the world's cleanest porta-john.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. That's what you tell yourself.
And you're going to save this bird. You're going to retrieve this bird.
Bad. It's alive. And this sucker is dyed blue. It is like whether it was a bluebird before, it's a bluebird now. And I get it out, and it's in my hand, and it looks terrible. And I'm outside the porta potty now, and I'm looking at it, and the thing is alive because it's moving around. And all of a sudden, it does its last gasp and just goes limp in my hand. Well, now I'm mad because you scared the shit out of me. I just dumped you out of the porta potty. You're not going to die on me. I am not letting you die on me. No, this isn't happening. I tried to give it chest compressions.
Oh, I thought you were going to say mouth to beak. Oh, God. I thought she's like, I went all for it.
She's trying.
I was like,
she's trying to save that little shit.
Don't go towards the light.
That's exactly it. Don't go to the light. Don't go to the light. And it's in my hand, and I take 2 fingers, and this little thing is, and I'm doing little chest compressions, and every chest compression, blue water spits up and breaks out.
Tell me it worked. Just tell me it worked, Rhonda.
No, it didn't. But I'm sitting here like thinking, what am I doing with my life right now? what am I doing? And I couldn't save it. But I was pissed at
Man,
that
she
point.
just had some defibrillators. She would have had it, man.
Couple double A's.
Clear.
But just imagine that you're pushing and it's like little like blue bubbles and it's just coughing up blue toilet.
Toilet crap.
Well, you know what? He went out knowing that you loved him and you were trying to save his life. You know, he wasn't alone dying in a porta john.
Porta john.
He died in his hands. Yeah.
After being moaned.
Yeah.
The blue genie got him.
By the way, if we ever meet in person, I'm not shaking her hand.
Exactly.
I used gloves because I would have been blue too. I wasn't carrying around that sign.
I bet they were blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Blue bird smiling at me.
No life-saving award for me.
Oh, well, you tried.
yeah. So Rhonda's got away with birds.
She does. She does.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today's show. If you have not visited the website yet, check it out, offbeatcopshow.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow.com. You can view all episodes there on the website, as well as subscribe to the email list. Also, if you're an officer and you've got a funny story you'd like to come on the show and share with our listeners, send us an email. It's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Guys, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, stay safe and watch each other 6.